The rain pounded against the window like forgotten promises, each drop a reminder of the years that had slipped away. Eleanor Hayes, 90 years old today, sat in her creaky armchair, staring at the single candle flickering on a store-bought cake, its flame mocking the emptiness of her silent home. In that moment of profound solitude, she whispered a desperate plea to the universe, one that would change everything when the doorbell rang. It was just a simple deliveria bouquet of wilting roses she'd ordered online to pretend someone cared. But when the young man appeared at her door, soaked from the storm, his kind eyes meeting hers, Eleanor felt a surge of courage born from decades of loss. "Young man," she said, her voice trembling like autumn leaves, "would you pretend to be my son, just for today?" His name was Alex Rivera, 25, a delivery driver hustling through life with student loans and dreams of something more. He hesitated, package in hand, water dripping from his jacket onto her faded welcome mat. The request hung in the air, absurd yet heartbreaking, pulling at strings he didn't know existed in his heart. Eleanor invited him in, her hands shaking as she closed the door against the howling wind. The house smelled of mothballs and memories, old photographs lining the walls, yellowed with time, showing a younger her with a husband long gone and a son who had vanished into the world decades ago. "His name was Michael," she began, leading Alex to the living room where the cake waited. "He'd be about your age now if things had been different." Alex set the flowers down, glancing around the room. It was a time capsule, crochet doilies on every surface, a grandfather clock ticking relentlessly, and a mantel filled with dusty trinkets from a life once full. He thought of his own mother, miles away in a nursing home he visited too infrequently, guilt gnawing at him. "Ma'am, I don't know if I can." "Please," Eleanor interrupted, her eyes welling up. "It's my 90th birthday. No one's coming. No calls, no cards. Just you." She gestured to the cake, the candle now guttering low. "Blow it out with me. Sing the song. Pretend." Something in her voice cracked Alex's resolve. He nodded, pulling off his wet jacket and hanging it by the door. "Okay, Mom." He tested the word, feeling its weight. Eleanor's face lit up like dawn breaking, a smile creasing her wrinkled cheeks for the first time in years. They sat at the small kitchen table, the cake between them. Alex sang "Happy Birthday" in a voice that started awkward but grew steady, his baritone filling the room with unexpected warmth. Eleanor closed her eyes, imagining Michael's face superimposed on this stranger's, the same dark hair, the same gentle smile. When they blew out the candle together, she made a wish she hadn't dared in decades, for connection, however fleeting. As the afternoon wore on, Eleanor shared stories. She spoke of her husband, Robert, a factory worker who died too young from lung cancer, leaving her to raise Michael alone. "He was a handful, that boy," she chuckled, her laughter brittle but genuine. "Always drawing pictures, dreaming of being an artist. But life got in the way." Alex listened, slicing the cake and serving her a piece. He told her about his own life growing up in a crowded apartment, his father abandoning them when he was 10, his mother working double shifts to keep them afloat. "I deliver packages to pay for night classes," he said. "Graphic design. Maybe one day I'll make something of it." Eleanor's eyes sparkled. "Like my Michael. He loved to draw too." She rose slowly, fetching an old sketchbook from a drawer. Flipping through yellowed pages, she showed Alex childish drawings of superheroes and family portraits. "He sent this to me on my 60th birthday. Last thing I got from him." Alex traced the lines with his finger, feeling an odd kinship. "These are good. Really good." He paused, then added softly, "What happened to him, if you don't mind me asking?" The room grew heavy. Eleanor sighed, her shoulders slumping. "Drugs. Started in college, experimenting like kids do. But it took hold. He dropped out, drifted away. Last I heard, he was in California, homeless maybe. That was 30 years ago." Tears traced paths down her cheeks. "I searched, hired detectives, but nothing. He's probably gone now." Alex reached across the table, taking her hand. It was cool and fragile, like porcelain. "I'm sorry," he murmured. "That must be unbearable. But today," she said, squeezing back, "you're here. My Michael, come home." They shared the cake in silence for a while, the rain softening outside. Alex felt a warmth spreading in his chest, a sense of purpose he hadn't known he needed. As evening approached, Eleanor suggested they watch an old movie, something from her era, like Casablanca. Alex helped her to the couch, tucking a blanket around her knees. The black-and-white flick played on her ancient TV, Humphrey Bogart's voice crackling through the speakers. During a lull, Eleanor turned to him. "Tell me about your dreams, son. What do you want to create?" Alex leaned back, surprised by how natural it felt. "I want to design book covers, maybe. Tell stories through images. Make people feel something just by looking." She nodded approvingly. Michael would have liked that. He always said art was about feeling, not seeing. The movie ended with its famous line, "Here's looking at you, kid." And Eleanor whispered it along, her voice fading. Alex glanced at her, seeing not just an old woman, but a tapestry of love and loss. He realized this pretense was healing something in him, to his own regrets about family. But as the credits rolled, a knock echoed through the house. Eleanor frowned. Who could that be? Alex stood, peering through the peephole. A woman in her 50s stood there, umbrella in hand, looking anxious. He opened the door. "Can I help you?" The woman peered inside. "I'm looking for Mrs. Hayes. I'm her neighbor, Clara. I saw a delivery van earlier and got worried. Is everything okay?" Eleanor called from the couch. "Clara? Come in, dear." Clara entered, eyeing Alex suspiciously. "Who's this?" Eleanor beamed. "This is my son, Michael. He's come home for my birthday." Clara's eyes widened, but she played along, sensing the fragility. "Well, happy birthday, Eleanor. I brought some soup." She set a container on the table, whispering to Alex. "She's been alone for so long. Thank you for this." Alex nodded, the twist of an unexpected ally adding depth to the evening. Clara joined them for tea, sharing neighborhood gossip that made Eleanor laugh heartily. For the first time in years, the house felt alive. As night fell, Alex knew he couldn't stay forever. But in those hours, bonds had formed fragile, yes, but real. Eleanor hugged him at the door, whispering, "Thank you, my boy. You've given me the best gift." He promised to return, not as Michael, but as Alex. Driving away, tears blurred his vision, the rain now a gentle patter of hope. The next morning dawned crisp and clear, the storm's remnants glistening on the leaves outside Eleanor's window. She woke with a lightness she hadn't felt in ages, replaying the previous day's miracle in her mind. Alex, her pretend son, had left a card with his number, scribbled hastily. "Call if you need anything. Your son for a day." Eleanor clutched it to her chest, deciding to brew coffee and face the day with renewed vigor. But as she shuffled to the kitchen, a pang of doubt crept in. Was it all just pity? Would he really come back? Meanwhile, Alex arrived at his tiny apartment, exhausted but transformed. He called his mother first thing. "Mom, I met this lady yesterday. She reminded me of you." His voice cracked as he recounted the story, promising to visit her soon. Hanging up, he stared at his sketchpad, inspired. He began drawing a portrait of Eleanor, capturing her quiet strength. Back at Eleanor's, the phone rang. It was Clara, the neighbor from last night. "How are you feeling today?" That young man seemed nice. "Oh, Clara, he was a godsend," Eleanor replied, her voice warm. "But I don't want to burden him." Clara chuckled. "Burden? Honey, you gave him something too. I could see it in his eyes. Why don't you come over for lunch? Bring that sketchbook you mentioned." Eleanor agreed, gathering Michael's old drawings. Walking the short distance to Clara's house felt like an adventure, her steps a bit surer. At Clara's cozy bungalow, they sat in the garden, sipping lemonade. Clara, a retired nurse, shared her own Lasiza daughter who'd moved abroad and rarely called. "We all pretend sometimes," Clara said. "Pretend we're okay when we're not." Eleanor nodded, flipping open the sketchbook. "Michael's art kept me going. Look at this one who drew us at the beach, before everything fell apart." Clara admired it, then hesitated. "Eleanor, I didn't want to say last night, but I think I know something about your Michael." Eleanor's heart skipped. "What do you mean?" Clara pulled out her phone, scrolling to an old email. "A few years back, I volunteered at a shelter in the city. There was a man named Michael Hayes, artist, down on his luck. He mentioned a mother in this town. I didn't connect the dots until now." The twist hit Eleanor like a wave. "Is he alive?" Clara shook her head sadly. "He passed away 2 years ago. Overdose. But he left something a painting. For you." Tears streamed down Eleanor's face as Clara fetched a wrapped canvas from her attic. Unveiling it, Eleanor gasped. a vibrant portrait of her younger self, laughing, with the inscription, "To Mom, with love always. Forgive me." Sobbing, Eleanor hugged Clara. "How did you get this?" "He asked the shelter to find you, but they couldn't. I took it, hoping one day." Clara trailed off, her own eyes misty. This unexpected revelation shifted everything. Eleanor felt a closure she never anticipated, mingled with fresh grief. But Clara's kindness, this auxiliary character emerging from the shadows, amplified the emotional layers, reminding her that connections lurk in unlikely places. That afternoon, Eleanor called Alex. "I need to tell you something," she said when he answered. Alex, midway through his deliveries, pulled over. "Eleanor? Everything okay?" She recounted Clara's story, her voice breaking. "It's like you brought him back, even for a moment." Alex was silent. Then, "I'm coming over after work. We can talk about it." He arrived with takeout Chinese, her favorite from stories shared. They ate on the porch, watching fireflies dance. "This painting," Alex said, studying it. "It's incredible. The emotion in it." Eleanor smiled through tears. "Like your drawings, I bet." Emboldened, Alex showed her his sketch from that morning. "It's you," he said shyly. She traced the lines, seeing herself not as broken, but resilient. "You're talented, son." The word slipped out naturally now. Alex didn't correct her. As days turned to weeks, Alex visited regularly. He helped with chores, fixed the leaky faucet, even digitized old photos. Eleanor, in turn, shared recipes and life lessons, filling the gaps in his fragmented family history. One evening, Alex brought a surprise. His mother, Maria, wheeled in from the nursing home. "Mom, meet Eleanor. She's family now." Maria, frail but sharp-eyed, grasped Eleanor's hand. "Thank you for being there for my boy." The four of them, Eleanor, Alex, Maria, and Clara, who joined later, shared dinner, laughter echoing. It was a patchwork family, born from one desperate request. But twists lingered. During conversation, Maria mentioned Alex's father. He left when Alex was young, chasing dreams in California. Eleanor's brow furrowed. "California? That's where Michael went." Alex froze. "What was your son's full name?" "Michael Alexander Hayes." Maria gasped. "My ex was Alexander Rivera, but he changed his name after leaving. Said he had a past life." The room spun. Alex pulled out his phone, showing a faded photo of his father. Eleanor stared at it. Was Michael, older, worn. "Oh my God," she whispered. "You're my grandson." The revelation exploded like fireworks, karmic, profound. Alex, the delivery man who'd pretended to be her son, was actually her blood, unknowingly drawn back by fate. Emotions surged: joy, shock, forgiveness. Eleanor hugged Alex tightly. "You've come home for real." He wept, the pieces of his life clicking into place. Grandma, Clara, and Maria watched, tears flowing, the human value of redemption shining bright. From that day, their bond deepened. Alex moved Eleanor to a better home near his, where family gatherings became routine. He pursued his art, dedicating his first exhibition to her and Michael. Eleanor's 90th birthday, once lonely, birthed a legacy of love, proving that even in isolation, hearts can find their way back. Yet, as they celebrated her 91st, a letter arrived anonymously sent, hinting at more family secrets. The letter trembled in Eleanor's hands, its envelope unmarked, postmarked from a distant city. "What could this be?" she murmured, Alex by her side in the sunlit kitchen. He opened it carefully, reading aloud. "Dear Mrs. Hayes, I knew your son. There's more you should know. Meet me at the old park bench by the lake, tomorrow at noon. A friend." Suspense gripped them. Alex frowned. This could be a scam. We should ignore it. But Eleanor's eyes burned with curiosity. "No, dear. If it's about Michael, I have to go." The next day, they drove to the park, Eleanor leaning on Alex's arm as they approached the bench. A man in his 60s sat there, weathered face hidden under a hat. He stood, removing it. "Eleanor Hayes." She nodded, heart pounding. "Who are you?" "Name's Tom. I was Michael's sponsor in AA, years ago in Cali. He talked about you a lot. Regretted everything." Tom handed her a bundle letters Michael had written but never sent, sketches, even a locket with her photo. "He got clean for a while, had a son, your Alex here, I presume, but relapsed. Before he died, he asked me to find you." Eleanor clutched the items, tears flowing. Why now? Tom sighed. I just found out where you were. Saw an article about Alex's art show, recognized the name. This auxiliary character, Tom, twisted the narrative again, adding layers of regret and reconciliation. Alex listened, piecing together his father's hidden struggles. Did he ever mention me? Tom nodded. Proud of you, even from afar. Said you had his talent. The meeting stretched into hours, Tom sharing stories that humanized Michael not as a failure, but a man battling demons. Eleanor felt a weight lift, forgiveness blooming. Back home, they pored over the letters. One read, Mom, I'm sorry for the pain. I have a boy now, Alex. He's got your eyes. If I could turn back time. Alex wiped his eyes. He did love us. Eleanor hugged him. And we love him, flaws and all. That's what family is. Their lives intertwined further. Alex's art flourished, incorporating Michael's sketches into collages that told stories of loss and redemption. Galleries praised the emotional depth, unaware of the real-life drama. Clara became a staple, organizing game nights. Maria, improving with better care, shared Hispanic recipes, blending cultures. But Kitch Tin mounted when Alex received a scholarship to study abroad. It's a dream, he said, conflicted. But leaving you. Eleanor smiled. Go, grandson. Live the life Michael couldn't. I'll be here, waiting. He departed with promises of video calls, Eleanor waving from the porch, heart aching yet proud. Months passed. Eleanor filled days with Clara's company, volunteering at the local shelter inspired by Tom's tales. She mentored young addicts, her story a beacon of hope. One rainy evening, reminiscent of that fateful birthday, the doorbell rang. Expecting Clara, Eleanor opened it to find a young woman, drenched, holding a baby. Can I help you? Eleanor asked. The woman shifted nervously. Are you Eleanor Hayes? I'm Lisa, Michael's daughter, from a relationship after Alex's mom. Shock rippled through Eleanor. Another grandchild? Lisa nodded. Dad told me about you before he passed. I just found out. This is your great-grandson, Mikey. The twisted secret sibling appended everything again, emphasizing life's unpredictable tapestry. Eleanor invited them in, the baby cooing as rain pattered. Calling Alex via video, she introduced them. Family just got bigger. Alex beamed from across the ocean. I'll be home soon. Lisa stayed, sharing her own hardships raised in foster care, searching for roots. Eleanor enveloped her in love, the house once silent, now buzzing with new life. As Mikey grew, toddling through rooms, Eleanor reflected on her journey. From isolation to abundance, all sparked by one bold ask. On her 92nd birthday, surrounded by Alex, back now, Lisa, Mikey, Clara, Maria, and even Tom, Eleanor blew out candles amid cheers. To second chances, she toasted. The value shown, humanity's capacity for empathy, bridging gaps across generations. Yet, as joy peaked, Lisa mentioned a box from Michael's things containing a diary hinting at more secrets. The diary lay open on the table, its pages filled with Michael's scrawled handwriting, chronicling a life of turmoil and fleeting joys. Eleanor turned them carefully, each entry a window into the sun she'd lost. He wrote about all of us, she said, voice hushed in the crowded living room. Alex leaned in. What does it say? One passage stood out. Met a girl today, Sarah. She's pregnant. Another child I'll probably fail. But maybe this one will find Mom someday. Lisa gasped. That's my mom. She never talked about him. The revelations continued, painting Michael as complex, talented, tormented, loving in bursts. A twist emerged, an entry about a hidden savings account, meant for his family. If I don't make it, find the bank in L.A. Password, Eleanor's birthday. Excitement stirred. Alex flew to California with Lisa, uncovering a modest sum enough for a family home upgrade. He did care, Alex said upon return. They used it wisely. Renovations for accessibility, a studio for Alex's art, a nursery for Mikey. The house transformed, symbolizing renewal. Eleanor's days brimmed with purpose. She wrote her memoirs, guided by Alex, titled A Pretend Son's Gift. Publishers snapped it up, her story inspiring readers worldwide about loneliness in the elderly and the power of kindness. Media attention followed. Interviews highlighted the human element, how one act rippled into a reunited family. Eleanor became an advocate, speaking at conferences, Never underestimate a stranger's heart. But drama lurked. An old acquaintance of Michael's surfaced, a former dealer, claiming debts. He owed me money, the man snarled over the phone. Fear gripped them. Alex confronted him, discovering it was a bluff Michael had paid long ago. The encounter underscored addiction's shadows, but strengthened their resolve. Clara, the steadfast neighbor, revealed her own surprise. She was battling cancer. Didn't want to burden you, she confessed. Eleanor rallied the family. We're in this together. They supported Clara through treatments, her recovery a testament to communal love. As years ticked by, Eleanor hit 95. Frailer now, but spirit unbroken. Mikey, 5, drew pictures for her, echoing Michael's talent. On a quiet afternoon, Eleanor sat with Alex. That delivery, it saved me. He smiled. Saved us all. The story's arc closed with profound humanism. In vulnerability lies strength, in pretense, truth. Connections heal wounds time inflicts. As Eleanor closed her eyes one last time, surrounded by loved ones, her legacy endured a reminder that no one is truly alone.